What's the deal with James Bond?
He wants to Majesty's Secret Service. I just got a message from Nina saying I heard that, so she clearly doesn't appreciate your joke.
No, well, I mean, she shouldn't. It wasn't a good one.
Jerry, I just went and saw the new James. I can't. We can't start this without Jackson here to make us stop.
George, why would you go see the new James Bond movie? They're all the same.
What's the thing, Jerry? I thought it was gonna be a little something different.
I know they're all the same. I don't mind. I like them to be the same. If they were different, I'd be mad.
Consistency is important.
Oh, you can't neglect the consistency, Jerry.
Nina's over here saying this one's different. This one has gay.
Do we want her to just be in here if she's gonna
No,
message us
she
about
can't.
everything we say?
Nina, are you gonna join us or not? You can't do it like this. She says no. She's not gonna join us.
If she's sure.
So she's like, "Oh, I have better things to do,"
If
and
she
that I
messages
planned
us
on.
about something we say one more time, I think we should just make her come in here.
We gotta. Anyway, happy Easter, everybody, which is when this episode would be recorded usually. So instead, I bypassed the hosts and seized power for myself and Jeff, and we're gonna talk about James Bond, specifically the Connery era.
In any case, the episode comes out on a Thursday anyway. You don't even have to mention Easter. It's Thanksgiving now.
Yeah. I did say Thanksgiving last week too, didn't I?
I don't think so, no.
I think I did.
I just said that to be stupid.
So yeah, today we're going to be talking about James Bond movies, specifically the Connery era, with a focus on Diamonds Are Forever. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with the James Bond timeline,
The JBCU, as it were.
yeah, the JBCU. This is a reverse order timeline.
Why would
That's
you put it in
frustrating.
reverse order?
I don't
That's
know, but it
odd.
works for me.
Okay, whatever.
So we open up with Dr. No, and that's a Sean Connery. And Connery was in the next 5 movies up through You Only Live Twice. That includes, I might as well just say them all in order. Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, and You Only Live Twice. And then after that, we got the Lazenby, which is on Her
Lazenby.
Majesty's Secret Service. George Lazenby was the a guy who stole one of Connery's suits and put on a voice and walked into the producer's office and he's like, "You just found your new James Bond."
I love that you said all of that without referring to him as an actor because he wasn't one at the time.
He wasn't. He lied his way into this like job, and honestly, credit where credit's due.
He did better than I would have.
He does not act worse than Connery does, but I think here's the thing is that Connery has this like charisma to him.
He does. He does a little.
And Lazenby did not. He looked like a guy
Lazenby
trying
has
to
negative
be
charisma. You can tell he lied his way in.
You can tell. He looks just like a guy who's pretending to be Sean Connery.
Which, to be fair, is that not acting? But like,
you would think
you can
that.
spot the lack of experience.
That is the problem.
I think Connery had like a stage acting background before he got into movies, right? So, and like you can really tell that with a lot of stage actors.
Mm-hmm. But you know, sometimes things go poorly, and you can tell that things went poorly with the Lazenby.
It's On Her Majesty's Secret Service is an absolutely terrible movie.
How long is this movie?
Unlike
again?
a lot of Bond movies, it's actually, I think Lazenby himself is not the biggest problem that the movie has.
It's not.
Curiously.
The writing is atrocious.
The writing is terrible. The plot, like, you know, the Blofeld plot is abysmal. It's really, really bad. The guy that they've got playing Blofeld sucks.
It was until Spectre and No Time to Die, which are the newest Bond movies. Her Majesty's Secret Service was the longest one. And it shows. It
Really?
feels very long.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
It's 2 hours and 20 minutes long.
Is
and
it 2 hours and 20 minutes long?
Oh, you could cut
Holy shit.
an easy 50 minutes out of that movie. And I'm not just saying that in the way that you can cut a lot of time out of a lot of older movies because the pacing is different.
No, On Her Majesty's Secret Service has so many twists and turns in it.
Yeah.
It is just so unnecessary. Like, every time I watch it,
Mhm.
literally every time something happens, I'm like, oh, I forgot that happened in this one.
Right?
Because it's got like 3 movies worth of like locations and events in it. And they just half-ass all of them.
All of them. Oh, it's miserable. They're so bad. However, we're not here to talk about that one, surprisingly enough. We're here to talk about Diamonds Are Forever, which is the one that came after. And you can tell that everyone realized Lazenby was a bad pick because not only did they not bring him back, they didn't move on to a new Bond. They brought Connery back. They're like, all right, we've got to save this thing. And Sean Connery comes back for one last ride. Technically, he has another one in '83,
It's
but
not part of
that's,
the canonical
I was
order,
going to say,
though,
it's not part of the
actually.
canonical Bond canon. The canonical canon, you know.
The JBCU.
Yeah, it's not part of the JBCU. It's
It's
part of the
outside that. It's
JBEU.
I guess.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
When Disney
Regardless,
buys James Bond, they're gonna decanonize it for sure, so you might as
exactly.
well just forget
Never
about it
Say
now.
Never Again is one of the most memed on titles, I think, but
Yeah.
also
The title isn't even a reference to anything about the movie itself. It's a reference to the fact that Sean Connery said he would never play James Bond again.
that's
So then
very
when he
funny though.
finally agreed to, they named the movie Never Say Never Again.
That is hilarious.
Right?
I do like that.
And it's so far as I know, I haven't seen it, but it's the only Connery one that I haven't watched. But so far as I know, it's about him like going back to Thunderball and like revisiting the locations and events of that to like include more of stuff from the like more of
Mhm.
the stuff from the book
Yeah, that's what I saw in
that
the
didn't make
quick
it into
write
the
up. It
movie.
looks like it's just a retelling of the Thunderball story.
Huh. Which is interesting because like Thunderball is one of my favorite Connery movies.
Honestly. And it's not just because the music slaps. I think it's
Nah.
because they have such a consistent exotic locale to it instead of like, and
Well, and
now he's in
like,
Cairo, and now he's in a South Asian country that we
well,
won't get too specific because we want to be anywhere, really.
they don't want to
But
be
they
too
gamble.
specific about
And that's
that.
like the only thing that they ever specify is he can gamble everywhere, but he does specifically like to do it wherever I can't remember the game now.
Baccarat,
Baccarat is
I believe
played.
is his move.
I think
His
so.
game. I don't know. I don't know what Baccarat is.
Neither
Is it?
do
It's
I.
a kind of poker, isn't it?
I know there's like I know that thanks to our father who has read these books
Yeah, our
and we
dad's a
haven't.
fucking nerd, and he read the books.
He says that he's supposed to play a game that has there is no skill to it. It is all luck based, but he's also supposed to be
Oh,
very good at it, which is like one of those things where it's like it's all luck based or is it?
that's
Ooh. But
kind of
like it's all
interesting.
luck based, you know?
There are so many tiny details of his character and his mannerisms and shit that the books go into
Oh yeah.
that are like intended to give you a ton of depth about his character without like telling you a lot about his
Oh
character.
yeah.
Like in the books, it goes into a lot of detail about the way that he showers.
That's a little weird.
He starts with hot water, and then as he goes on, he gradually turns the hot water off and turns the cold up.
Isn't that what you do?
I do it sometimes.
Mhm.
I don't do it gradually when I do it, but that's beside the point. That is referred to though as a Scottish shower.
Amazing.
Since the popularization of James Bond, it's become known as the James Bond shower. But
Oh.
that's called a Scottish shower. So it's supposed to be a nod to the fact that James Bond is somewhere in his roots actually Scottish, but the books never actually get into that per se,
Also,
apparently.
I'm sure everyone knows the classic shaken not stirred for his martini
Of
in the
course.
book. The reason that they do that is because James Bond is a terrible alcoholic and he can't stop his hands shaking to stir his martini, so he shakes his martinis instead.
Yup.
Um, how does that translate into him being a crack shot? Don't worry about it. It's a fucking book.
It's fine.
Jeez.
It's fine.
But yeah, so Connery was done.
And then he
On Her
wasn't.
Majesty's Secret Service came out, and then they brought him back 2 years later because Bond movies released like every 2
They came out like
years.
every couple of years
Let's
for
see.
a really long time.
62, 63, 64, 65, 67, 69, 71, 73, 74,
My
79.
God.
Okay, so there's the biggest gap in there. 74 to 79. But
That
still,
is
you
the
know,
biggest
like
gap. And it was what? It's Roger Moore on both sides of it.
and then we're back to the every 2 years train.
Yeah. Tell you what, series through the 70s and 80s,
You
they would
gotta
just
respect the
crank
hustle.
that shit out constantly. Like there was a new Friday the 13th movie every year for a solid 10 years.
Mhm.
That's insane.
Yeah, we really didn't get another big gap again. Well, I mean, I guess License to Kill to GoldenEye, that was a 6-year gap.
Okay.
But then the biggest gap that we've had since then, like even switching over from
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan to Daniel Craig, That was only 4 years.
Wow.
Our biggest gap has been the 6-year gap between Spectre and No Time to Die.
I always forget Casino Royale came out in 2006.
It doesn't feel that old,
It
does it?
doesn't feel like it was that long ago that it was coming out, but then, Jesus, apparently I was 11 years old? What the hell? I remember having opinions about it when it was coming out.
But we didn't see it in theaters.
No.
We only
No, it was later.
we saw Quantum in theaters. I remember seeing that.
Did we?
Yeah, because I
I
remember
remember
it
seeing Skyfall in theaters,
I distinctly remember
not
seeing
Quantum.
Skyfall in theaters. Maybe I saw Quantum in theaters.
I know I didn't. Maybe you did.
Maybe I did.
That was 2008.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wild.
In any case, though,
In any case, they bring back to pull ourselves all the way
yeah,
back
all the way
to
back to
71.
1971.
1971. So we're
Do
cranking
we
it back
know
again.
how they got Sean Connery back? Did they offer him just like an ungodly amount of money?
Oh, they had
Did
to,
they let him
right?
keep all the diamonds from the movie or something? Like,
Mr. Connery, there's a fake diamonds though. Don't sell me anything, son. Give me the diamonds.
that was such a good Sean Connery impression. I thought he was here for a second.
I know, I know. I'm pretty good at that. Uh let's see. Trivia. Okay, let's hit the trivia because there has to be something
There's got to be
here.
something in the trivia here. There's something making reference to his high fee, so it must be that they just offered him a
Okay.
ton of money.
Okay, so this is actually very funny.
What is that?
This is that the two guys who play the gay assassins had
Yeah.
Connery convinced that they were openly
Oh
gay.
my god.
And then it wasn't until a few years later when he was flirting with a female flight attendant and suddenly he heard a Scottish accent voice saying, "You son of a bitch."
Oh my god. I really hope. Actually, you know what? I don't know what situation is funnier that they like on set tried really hard to convince Sean Connery that they were actually gay as a joke, or if he just assumed because that's how they were in the movie. Like, I don't know which is funnier.
Honestly, it doesn't specify. I am willing to believe that that happened. Okay, let's
Either
see.
way, though, like,
Um,
wow.
so Connery was paid $1,250,000 to return as Bond, which is why the special effects were hugely scaled back in this movie, which does make sense. There's a lot less explosions than usual. This was,
I guess there
while
are
it
not
doesn't
a whole
seem
lot
like
of
a huge
explosions.
amount of money now. Well, I mean, it does, but it doesn't seem like a huge amount of money
Pocket
now.
change for a guy like me.
Yeah, exactly. This was an absolutely unheard of amount of money, but they needed their guy back.
Wait, what's the number?
1,250,000.
In 1971 dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
that's
that's a
that's a
freakish amount of
lot.
money.
That's an unbelievable amount now, right?
Let's see. Oh, the final day that he played Bond was being loaded into the coffin. That's funny. Pulling that
They
out of
showed that
order. That
last?
makes a lot of sense.
That's really funny.
Put him to sleep. Oh, he dated Sean Connery dated two different women during production of this movie. That
Yeah, that makes
adds
sense.
up. I'm just looking right now. We're trying to let's see.
These are all so long.
Oh my god, Lazenby was asked to make another Bond movie but said no.
Oh, what the hell?
Okay. He was asked
Wait,
Lazenby
who
was
else
asked
did
to
they
come back and
consider?
said no.
Adam
Burt
West turned down
Reynolds
the role?
was the original choice to replace him, but was unavailable. John Gavin was signed.
Adam West turned
Adam
it
West
down
turned it
because he
down.
felt that James Bond should be a British actor.
That's
I
good.
want to see Adam West James Bond so
I don't know
bad.
if I do.
I do.
I
I
like
know I
I
do.
like how Michael Gambon turned down because he
Michael
was in
Gambon?
terrible shape. Okay. Um
Dumbledore?
that oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Dumbledore was almost James Bond, but he wasn't in good shape at the time.
That's
What
amazing.
the hell? Ah.
And then last minute, Connery agreed to return for the 6th time at an astronomical salary.
Huh.
Gavin was still played. John Gavin was still paid
Oh,
because he was signed to do it and ready to go.
so he got paid what he was promised, but didn't do anything in the movie?
Yeah.
Wow. And they didn't even cast him as the next Bond. They went right to Roger Moore after this. Doesn't it seem like they should have just kept him on the hook for another year and shot with him then?
You'd think, but
Like, it's not even that long.
there we go. That's I guess all the trivia really.
Wow.
Let's see. Her Majesty's Secret Service was a poor box office hit. No wonder. I
Yes,
can't
no surprise.
believe I can't believe that they thought about bringing him back after that.
That's insane, right?
But that brings us to an important part of this movie. There are no exotic locales in this movie.
Yeah,
It
it
all takes
all
place in America.
well, there are a couple of scenes in Amsterdam
Well,
right
yeah,
at the front end,
right at the
very
front end, but
briefly,
there's no, like there is one, like, scene where you see the
yeah,
place,
there's,
like,
like,
they
one
made the
shot of
most of
the
the
canals and
canal.
shit, and then after that, it could all very easily just be studio stuff.
Easily, it would be studio space, and that actually is because Majesty's Secret Service was such a flop. They're like, "Alright, we know the Americans have fun with these movies. Let's set the whole thing in America and make the whole thing America." Which, it did set off a trend because Live and Let Die did the same thing,
But, like, worse.
so much worse.
They were like, "Hey, you remember Diamonds Are Forever? What if we made it really, really racist?" And then
Oh
they
my
were like, "Yeah,
gosh.
what could go
Exactly.
wrong?"
You know how all Bond movies are, like, overtly racist? What if this one was in America?
And even more overtly racist.
Oh boy.
God,
But yeah,
it's
so that's why
horrible.
Diamonds takes place in Las Vegas. Like, 90% of the movie is in Vegas. That's the whole thing, is
Yeah.
that
And about
there's
half of that
some.
is inside actual casinos as
Yeah.
well.
The alleged villain is a casino mogul who owns a lot of stuff, but more importantly, has, like, government, like, people, like, higher ups are on speed dial, and he, like, talks to them all the time.
Well, and when bad stuff happens, they call him first.
Yeah, they're like,
They're like, "Oh my god,
Mr.
the
Willard
missiles
White."
just blew up, Willard. What do we do?"
And it's like, why firstly, why does Willard White own a missile silo?
Yeah, that's kinda odd. Yeah, he says "our missiles" as though he has a stake in them. Yeah,
Yeah,
and he does own that, like, government lab site where they fake that moon landing at one point
they
in the
do.
movie.
Man, the watching the guys in the moon suits slow-mo try and
Yeah,
catch
they
Bond is
he's running
very
through
funny.
the scene where they're where they're shooting their fake moon landing, and they chase him in slow motion in their
Oh,
spacesuits.
it's very good. It's
Oh,
very good.
god, this movie is ridiculous.
It's really great.
It is absolutely absurd.
But anyway, back to, back to the core of
Yeah, was
it.
there a point that we were getting to
Not
here?
really,
Just
honestly.
it's just this movie's crazy.
There's a lot of stuff going on. We got our first gay characters, because
That's
there's a lot
true.
of there's a lot of elements of, like, Bond characters who, like, I think a lot of people have referred to, Goldfinger as a gay-coded villain, because he doesn't exactly have a
Uh,
love interest in the movie.
I guess. Well,
Um,
and one of his at least one of his primary minions is,
Gay.
almost confirmed to be a lesbian,
She is until
but
the whole
then
thing.
James changes that
Yeah, James changes that.
because that's how that works.
Exactly. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of, like, gay coding in a lot of Bond villains, but there's not until this, there had not been an explicitly gay character, and we got 2. Eh,
Blofeld in this one comes across kinda gay as well, doesn't he?
honestly, I was literally just thinking that about You Only Live Twice as well. You know, as soon as he appeared on screen and stopped being that "Number 9 report" voice from behind the metal screen, like, I feel like his character changed from just another, like, faceless guy to a character,
Well,
but he
but
also seems a little gay coded too.
I don't think he comes across that way quite in You Only Live Twice. I think the way he comes across in You Only Live Twice is just very half-assed.
He definitely does as well. Man, they decided to make him such a comically evil looking guy.
Yeah, they have him with, like, the bald head and the scar on his eye, and then, of course, he's got the signature cat and all, but, like
Mhm.
but then, like, the way that the dude acts, he's just like, "My name is Ernst Stavro Blofeld. I'm
That's
sure you remember me, James." And then he drives that little golf cart away.
yeah.
Like,
And then
I
we
don't
don't
know,
see him in the
You
next
Only Live Twice
movie.
just sucks.
Oh wait, no, we do see him in the next movie where it's a
Where
different
he's a
bald
different
man
actor
with
again,
no eye scar,
taller,
taller by a lot.
comes across as sort of a Lex Luthor type, I
A
guess,
lot more of
a little bit.
if you had
Not a
cast that man
Blofeld
to
type,
play
but
Lex Luthor, it would have made so much sense.
yeah, but then the Diamonds Are Forever guy, he understands. He gets it.
He understands.
This guy
He's a
fucking
man
gets it.
filled with contempt for everyone and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And he also played one of Bond's, like, comrades in You Only Live Twice.
Oh, fuck, that's right. He is
Yeah,
in an earlier movie
he's
as
in an
somebody
earlier movie.
else.
Very recognizable face. If you look up
Extremely. He's a
Blofeld
very
from Diamonds Are
distinctive guy.
Forever, you can't make a mistake.
He's
You
a very
know.
distinctive looking dude.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, he was like another agent and he gets killed in the field or some shit.
Yeah, he was living in
Yeah.
Hong Kong, just vibing and hanging out.
What the hell? And then they were like,
So,
"Hey, this guy did a good job. I feel like he could be a good Blofeld." And then he was the best Blofeld
he
until
was the
Christoph Waltz.
honestly, he's the Blofeld that I, like, remember being Blofeld the most, even though he
Yeah,
was only Blofeld once.
I legitimately thought I remembered him being in another movie.
Me too.
As Blofeld, that is.
And then we in Live and Let Die, we get another Blofeld.
Is it another
Yeah,
Blofeld
because
now?
that's the Blofeld that's in the motorized wheelchair running the helicopter.
Is it Live and Let Die where that happens?
Yeah.
I thought that was a different movie. I thought that was For Your Eyes Only or something.
Nope.
No? Huh. Jeez. These
The
movies
timeline,
are
who cares if Never Say Never Again isn't a canonical Bond, if we're being
the order
honest?
barely matters, right? Like,
I honestly, I'm amazed looking at the order that Moonraker came before For Your Eyes Only,
yeah, that's kind of odd,
because
actually.
in
Moonraker,
my
James
mind,
Bond goes to space. That's
yeah,
a very late in the series move,
yeah,
right?
which I mean, in fairness, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, it's the 11th movie in the franchise, so like,
Yeah.
kind of.
And what? That was like 10, 15 years in at that point? Because
Yeah.
when did Dr. No come out?
Dr. No came out in 62, so that's
62.
17 years into
17
it.
years in,
So yeah,
James Bond goes
17
to
years in,
space.
they waited 17 years to send him to space,
When are
and
we
then
finally going to get James Bond Goes to Hell?
I'm pretty sure that was View to a Kill, because that movie is the worst
That's
to
the one
get
where
through.
Christopher Walken plays the villain, right?
Yeah, let me roll that back. Octopussy is far worse
I
than A
do
View
think
to a Kill.
Octopussy is
And
worse.
honestly,
For the name
looking
alone.
at the list of movies here, I can't think of a movie I would want to watch less again than Octopussy.
Okay, so this leads to something that I was going to spring on you unexpectedly.
Are
I
we gonna
think
do
we
a
should.
tier list?
We got to do a tier list.
Oh, we got to
I
do a tier
was
list.
thinking we should just do a quick tier list of the Connery movies alone.
Okay.
I think within each Bond, it makes sense to compare them internally more so than externally.
But then also having a
But
master tier list is
a
very
master tier
important.
list should happen because, like,
Without a doubt.
if we're not passing the fullest possible judgment on everything, we're wasting our time here.
Honestly. Okay, so
Here's the
first things
problem with a
first.
master list, though, is I haven't seen hardly any of the Pierce Brosnan movies.
I have seen them all once.
I don't know that I have actually watched any of them in their entirety. I know that I've seen parts of one of them, and I don't know which.
So this is gonna be a funny, hey mom, don't listen. This is gonna be a funny story that I think you will
Oh
appreciate.
God.
So I remember being told we were allowed to watch everything up through License to Kill. All of those movies were open and clear, but I was
I recall
told
being told that.
we weren't allowed to watch
The
the
Brosnan
Brosnan
movies.
movies.
Yeah, because they had
And
more sex or something.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. There is not more sex in the Brosnan movies.
I didn't think so.
But I did definitely watch them exclusively because that's what I was told.
Ah.
And I'm like, hell yeah, let's watch these,
Like, all
these
right,
Brosnan movies.
let's go.
And because of that, I remember being like disappointed. But it's one of those, in hindsight, they're not bad. They're not bad. They feel too modern.
They started taking themselves a little bit more seriously at that point, right?
But not like,
Because of Daniel Craig actually had an interesting opinion on that.
oh, I'd love to hear it.
He said Austin Powers ruined James Bond.
Yeah.
Bond couldn't be fun anymore because Austin Powers was making fun of all of that. So they
Mhm.
had to take it too seriously. They had to make it like too up its own ass, more or less.
Yeah.
And it took all the fun out of it. And Daniel Craig said that ruined it.
See, and while I think that Daniel Craig's Bond having no fun at all, I think that his Bond works
He did have a certain amount of fun.
because
It's different, obviously, but like,
it's not like a laugh out loud fun like you're gonna get through all the way up through
sure.
Brosnan.
Here's the
And
thing.
honestly, I guess Living Daylights and License to Kill are also not that funny in hindsight.
Again, not without their
But
own particular brand of humor,
They are
but
they're like very funny, but it's like it's really funny because you can tell that Dalton looks like he's phoning it in.
oh,
And he's
100%.
also not happy to be there.
Kinda. Which sucks because I think he if we're going to pick a master Bond, I do think he might have been the best at the time if he just had something better to work with.
If he had gotten 2 more movies, I would consider him higher in the list, you
Yeah,
know?
but he's only got 2, so it's really tough to
It's hard, especially when the one-hit wonder, the one, the only George Lazenby, he's just so much better in his one movie than Dalton
incomparable.
is in both.
Incomparable.
Okay, so but I would love to do a quick tier list, and I'm gonna give you some reasoning
Yes, we need to
behind.
get into the reasons, of course.
So, we're gonna count down
We going for the
backward.
master list first?
No, we're just gonna do the Connerys
Okay,
first.
just the Connerys?
So I'm gonna put Thunderball in my number 1 spot, and I think that you know why. But
It's probably taking my number 1 spot as well, so yeah, of course I know why.
so, like,
The villain's just so larger than
yeah,
life.
the
He's
villain
got a
is
yacht with another yacht inside it.
he's got a yacht with a
He's
yacht
got a
inside.
shark pit.
He's got a shark pool.
The dude, he
and
has a
another shark
regular pool and then a pool full of sharks for no goddamn reason.
And he can connect the
And he's
pools
got
when
just
he
a
needs
door
to.
that connects the two that he
Yeah,
can just open. Like
that's great.
Who does that? Who thinks to do that? Whoever thinks that they
He
might
has a
need that
saltwater
sometime.
swimming pool, or he's murdering his pet
Just
sharks.
for his
Either
sharks.
way.
Yeah.
Either
Either way,
way.
what the fuck?
And he's got an
You
eye
cannot
patch.
top that. And he's got the eye patch.
And I mean,
we've got
the
our,
one, the only Tom Jones.
we got Tom Jones
The
on the
Tom
music.
Jones theme.
Yeah.
I will always argue that Thunderball is the best theme. Many people say
100%.
Live and Let Die is the best one.
Incorrect.
And when I say these statements, I would like to clarify, I don't count the Daniel Craig movies in this because
Sure.
I don't know their themes well enough.
We're talking classics, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm not even going past License to Kill because I don't remember any of the themes.
Yeah.
For Brosnan either.
The only theme from a Daniel Craig movie that I remember is Skyfall by Adele, which is good.
It's fine, yeah, but
It does
it
everything
doesn't
that it
crack
needs
my
to
top
do.
5.
It's not Thunderball. That's the
No.
thing. This is what Daniel Craig was talking about. Adele couldn't be fun because
No.
Adele can't be fun because Skyfall couldn't be fun.
Yeah,
Tom Jones can be fun.
and the song isn't even
Thunderball?
fun,
Fun.
is the thing. Like,
Oh, the song is. Oh well, I think it's fun because of Tom Jones.
I don't think
This
that
is
he
something
set
that I
out
was
to
gonna
make
get
a fun
into.
song though, is what I'm saying.
Well,
He
sure.
just set out to make like a good Bond song, and it also happens to be like he can say he strikes like Thunderball, and that doesn't need
that
to
means
make any sense.
nothing.
Maybe that's a reference that I'm just too young to understand.
I don't think so.
But
I think somebody was just sitting in an office like, God, the name of the book is Thunderball, and they're calling the movie Thunderball, and I have to write a song. I don't know. He strikes like Thunderball. A Thunderball isn't a thing. Like, you can imagine this dude's
Yeah.
frustration in writing the
oh,
song.
100%, 100%. But he gave us a banger, and for that I'll be
He
eternally
did.
grateful.
He really did. Okay, so here's
Thunderball
the thing.
takes first spot. Also, the giant underwater combat sequence.
Oh,
Like,
good.
the underwater combat sequence
We got
that
our
takes a
best-
solid 10 minutes to conclude.
We get our
That's
best Felix
huge.
Leiter as well.
We do
He
get
actually
our best
has
Felix.
like a personality and stuff. He's in a significant portion of the movie.
He's also the sleaziest Felix Leiter. That
Yes.
man
He's wearing that
oozes
like Hawaiian
sleaze.
shirt and sunglasses the whole
The whole
time at
time?
night.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, he's the
it's so
worst.
good. It's so
He
good.
looks hungover constantly.
And the best part is it. Wait, no, wait. Maybe it's not. Is it Thunderball or Doctor No? Where the first time that he encounters Bond just like kicks him in the nuts
oh
to
yeah,
keep him
he
quiet.
walks in and he's like,
That's Doctor
well,
No,
if
isn't
it
it?
isn't James, and then he gets kicked in the nuts, and he's like, shh. And then he finds the assassin that was hiding in his hotel room.
That's Doctor
and-
No, isn't it?
No, that's Thunderball.
Is it Thunderball? Okay.
Yeah.
I know it's the same actor in the two. And it's like the only time that Felix is ever played by the same actor twice.
Yeah, no, it's in Thunderball because
Okay.
then he turns on the hot water that is immediately scalding
That's
hot.
right, which
and burns the
nobody's
guy
hot
in the
water
shower,
could possibly be.
And then he kicks him out. He's
Yeah.
like, sorry about that. You're oh no,
Yeah,
that
and he,
isn't
like-
James Bond because he's like, you're about to say James Bond. And then he says it out loud anyway, so it's like it doesn't even matter. Maybe that isn't Doctor
These
No.
movies are all stupid.
I don't know. Anyway, Thunderball.
So
slot
Thunderball,
one.
top tier.
Now I'm gonna say Diamonds Are Forever is my number 2.
Yeah?
And here's the reason I'm gonna say that, okay? Connery in this movie, you can tell the man came back for money. He came back for a cash deal.
He phones
And
it
he
in so
phones
hard.
it in really hard. And
So
I
hard.
hate to say it, not to besmirch all the acting he did, because he doesn't act poorly in the other movies.
Sure.
I hate to say it. This is his best performance as Bond. Because he's phoning it in so hard, he is so distant the whole
Like-
time. He delivers these shitty one-liners.
It ends up being impossible to view the movie as anything other than a comedy. We watched it very
Yeah.
recently.
Like, because our
And
original plan had been to just talk about this one, but, like, you know how that
yeah,
is. That's a miserable experience. You don't wanna just hear
who
that.
sticks with plants? Come on.
Exactly. But, like, when they throw Plenty O'Toole, his girlfriend, who he was dating during the filming of the movie, when they throw her out the window and they
And she
land her in
lands
a
in a
pool,
pool, and
he's
he's
just
like,
like,
"Oh, good shot."
"Good shot." And then you get this weirdo gangster, "I didn't know there was a pool down there."
And they're
Like,
both just deadpanning it.
and
There is
then
not a bit of acting between the two of them in that shot.
yeah, and then he's like then he, like, hits him and pushes him back and is like, "Well, I suppose you're here for the real diamonds."
And they just
And
leave.
then they leave. And I still, for the life of me, I got no idea why she, like, or why that happened. You
Honestly,
know?
the way
It
that
was
most
to
of it plays
reconnect
out
him
doesn't
with
make
his
sense.
girlfriend, who he also was dating. He dated both
Was
of
sh
the romantic interests.
was he dating both of them at the same time?
Apparently.
Like, did they know?
That's what IMDb trivia tells me.
Like, it just changes the whole dynamic of the movie, right?
It does. It honestly, it makes the love triangle that feels like they cut 5 scenes that made it make sense,
Right, because Plenty
um,
O'Toole was barely present at the
barely
time.
present.
They met each other, and then she got thrown out the window.
And then they're like, "Oh, Plenty came to your little house here to
Yeah,
try
and
and get
suddenly
you."
she's just dead for no reason. She wasn't
Yeah.
connected to anything.
Mhm.
Weird. Very weird.
Yeah, very weird.
Anyways,
But
number
yeah,
2 spot there.
that huge phoned in performance, our
Plus
2
the
our 2 gay assassins who
yeah.
have their own musical
I
sting.
love that they have their own music. It comes in
Yeah.
every time that they are present at work. Even
Mhm.
if you haven't seen them, their music will play.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's very, very,
It's
very nice.
legitimate good filmmaking. Also, the fact that their music is just this like soft enigmatic flute solo.
Mhm. Yeah. So that's why Diamonds, that sits in my number 2 spot.
Okay.
I'm gonna put
This
let's
is where it
see.
gets hard because this is where the
The
movies
rest of
start
them,
to suck,
yeah, we got You Only Live Twice, Goldfinger, From Russia with Love, and Doctor No.
which
Um,
all drag a little.
they do. I'm gonna put Goldfinger in my number 3,
Okay.
and it's not because I like it more than From Russia with Love, which I'm actually gonna put in my number 3. From Russia with Love is in my number 3 spot. The more I talked, the more I couldn't justify letting it ride on theme song alone.
That's the thing. Goldfinger is perhaps the best Bond theme.
He's the man with the Midas touch.
Like it's so good.
Oh,
It's so good.
it's so
But
terribly
then the
wonderful.
movie for most of its length is just kind of dull.
It's really
It
dull.
goes absolutely
From
nowhere for a
from
really
Russia with
long
Love, on the
time.
other hand, you got the Soviet assassin.
Who has no name.
He has no name.
All we know about him is that he's blonde and Russian.
He's very blonde and Russian, and he does an English accent
He does
when
an English
he's like,
accent.
"Ah, Mr. Bond, Liverpool, isn't it? I'm here to help you."
That's exactly what he says, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
And then
Bond is
Bond's
just like, "I've got no reason to question this."
up until he's like, "Here, it's in my briefcase," and then he opens it wrong and
And the
accidentally
tear
tear
gas.
gasses himself.
Yeah.
That From
The
Russia
tear
with
gas
Love,
briefcase. Why? What?
oh, it's so good.
Oh,
Russia with Love is that's my sleeper hit Bond movie, I think.
yeah? You think? That's I can't get into the villains in it though.
The villains are really
The
bad.
villains are not cartoonish enough for me. Doctor No, a terrible, poorly executed movie, but the guy's got robot hands.
He does have robot hands.
I love a man with robot hands.
That's why Doctor No is in my number 4 spot. Because these first 2 movies, Russia with Love and Doctor No, Connery took them really
Oh,
seriously.
wait, so that means we've got You Only Live Twice and Goldfinger tied for the bottom spot?
Doctor No wins the
Or
number 4 spot literally only because robot hand
robot
villain
hands?
is a better villain than poorly acted Blofeld
Yeah.
and definitely not gay
Well, wait,
Goldfinger.
and also the way that Bond like kills Doctor No by drowning him in his reactor,
Yeah, he drowns him in his
and
reactor.
they act like the water in a nuclear reactor is actually harmful. It
Yeah.
is not actually.
Yeah, they act like it's like scalding acid.
and just the way that they portray the operations of the reactor
Yeah, I
in the
only
movie
recent
is fucking hilarious.
I learned 2 days ago that nuclear reactors work on boiling water to create steam with nuclear stuff.
Yeah, it's literally just that like what fucking uranium-235 or
Mhm.
whatever is really hot
Yeah,
all the
I
time.
never knew that. I literally learned that just the other day,
Yeah.
and I hate
It's
that
so
information.
annoying, right?
It's so
It was
annoying.
supposed to be something cooler than that. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be
Harness the
mysterious.
power of the glowing green or get out. But no.
Yeah, like, if I can comprehend how it works without an advanced degree of some kind, I feel like I'm getting ripped
Oh,
off.
100%. Dr. No, though, that man picks up a Cornish hen and then crushes it in his robot hand that he burned off in his reactor water.
Wasn't that like a piece of gold or some shit?
Maybe it was. I don't know, man. He
This is
crushes a
this is
lot of
a
stuff.
long-running misremembrance that you have. You've got this weird false memory of Doctor No where he, like, kills a chicken or some shit,
No, no,
and I know
no.
you've been talking about it for, like, 15 years, and every time we watch the movie, the crushing happens, and you're like, "Oh, man, I thought he, like, choked a chicken or something." Every
Choking a
time.
chicken means many things. I need to make it very clear.
Squeezing the life out of a bird.
Yeah, okay, so that's my false memory that was planted in my mind by, the KGB operatives from Russia with Love.
Apparently.
But that does put in my 4 and 5 spot, or in my 5 and 6 spot, You Only Live Twice in Goldfinger, and I think we can all agree You Only Live Twice is the bottom of the Connery hits.
Okay, so here's the thing, though.
Oh, we can't all agree.
Okay. I am not gonna argue with the placement on the tier list.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna argue with any of that. It seems to me your list makes perfect sense.
However, your list is completely different
Here's the
for reasons that
thing.
will also probably make perfect sense.
Nah, I'm not even gonna bother giving my list. It would be pretty much the same, just like with 1 or 2 place switches or
Mhm.
something. So I'm not even gonna bother assembling my Connery list. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing about You Only Live Twice.
Okay.
Everything that is wrong with that movie is just in the execution. In concept, it should be a really good Bond movie.
That is the sucky part,
Because
isn't
the
it?
Blofeld plot in You Only Live Twice is that Blofeld by himself, because this is what they don't talk,
Oh,
it's not before Spectre,
no.
but they don't
I
talk
just
about
remember
Spectre
that
in
You
it.
Only Live Twice is the one that has the helicopter.
The helicopter.
Yeah,
The
his
helicopter
little
pad in the volcano?
No, his little, like, Q sent me
Oh.
this little helicopter
Yeah, and
to
it like
put
fits in
together.
a set of suitcases. That
Yeah.
helicopter. Yeah, that's the one that has that. And also,
Oh,
the Blofeld
no.
plot is that Blofeld by himself, because they never mentioned Spectre in the movie, I don't
Even though
think.
Spectre was heavily established at this
Yeah,
point.
Blofeld by
Heavily
himself
established.
entered the space race
Yeah.
just to mess it up for everyone else,
I do love that.
became the most major player in the space race without anybody noticing,
Yeah.
and his plan is to send his rocket up to swallow up other countries' rockets.
Yeah. His
Like,
rocket,
his
not
rocket
only
just
did no
opens up
one
on the
ever
front,
really notice it. Well, I
right?
mean, I guess they did.
Somehow.
They noticed something was launching. But
And
then
they knew that
something
something
came
was
up,
happening to their astronauts, but, like,
and
it would just open up on the front
yeah, his rocket was
and
so big that it would
encapsulate.
eat other
Yeah.
rockets and then bring okay, never
And then
mind.
just bring them back down, and
Yeah.
he would just keep the astronauts in, like, a prison cell in his volcano base, and his plan for this, like, his only intent with this was just to turn America and Russia against each other.
Okay, so that
Make both of them sure that the other one is the one fucking with their astronauts, and just let them go to war with each other. That
now
was his
now
plan.
here's the problem. You say that and I'm like, "Holy shit, you're right. You Only Live Twice is one of the best Bond movies." But then
But if you watch
we,
it
we watch it
and it
suddenly
sucks.
we get stuck on this like, "Oh, it's the Chinese who are launching these rockets." And it's like, "Okay, so he's in China." But then
He's in Japan.
he's in Japan.
And they're weird about the fact that he's in Japan.
They're really weird about it. And then they also
And they
they
have
do some
him
like mild facial like
They
stuff
put,
to him.
like, some kind of effects makeup on him for the long
Yeah.
term, which is not how that stuff works,
Yeah.
to make him look Japanese, and it doesn't
Yeah.
work.
It doesn't work.
He ends up looking like a
literally-
Romulan from Star Trek.
He literally just looks like a Romulan. He looks more like Sean Connery than he did before he got his like weird like
Yeah.
stuff going on.
He ends up just looking like Sean Connery with, like, weird eyebrows,
Yeah.
and it's very weird. It's very
very
strange.
it's and like we
And he's,
cannot
like, hanging out at a ninja school, and they're very weird about the fact that it's a ninja school.
yeah, cannot overstate that this is the second most racist James Bond movie.
That is a very high position to hold, and I'm not sure that I wanna confidently say that, but yeah.
Like well, see,
There's a lot in
because
bear
there's a
in
lot
mind
of like
keep in
Puerto
mind,
Rican
Noah,
racism in License to Kill that
keep
Nina
in
pointed out
mind,
to me.
in both Thunderball and Doctor No, he hangs out in a bunch of, like, small island countries, and they are not favorable to the people who live in those places.
That is also true. But he
In any
doesn't do
case, though,
blackface.
he doesn't do blackface. He does not. He does not do blackface, but he does attempt Japanese face? I'm not gonna try and come up with a better name for that. It's a stupid idea.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we've got the best Blofeld
On
plot with the
paper, it's the
worst
best Bond movie.
possible. Yeah, it's just the worst possible execution of
Honestly, on
everything.
paper, all
Okay,
of
and
these are
here's
a
the
lot
thing.
better than they
Here's
are,
the
though.
thing. It comes right down to the music too, because the main theme from "You Only Live Twice," the song kind of sucks,
It
and it's
does
by
kinda
Nancy
suck.
Sinatra. So who's surprised?
Yeah,
Just imagine Tom Jones singing that song,
it gets better.
and imagine Nancy Sinatra singing "Thunderball."
Oh, I hate that.
With anybody other than Tom Jones, Thunderball sucks.
It does.
It's just Tom Jones oozing charisma.
He's got such a sexy voice.
If they would have just held on to him for "You Only Live Twice," much stronger opening for that movie might change the course of the whole thing. Wouldn't,
No.
but it would have improved things.
And it would have been a better,
And if they just had a
like,
couple
song
better
to come back to.
Yeah, if they just had a couple of better, like, writing and casting moves, the
Mhm.
movie could be so good because the plot is decent. I love the idea of Blofeld joining the space race by himself just to mess it up for everyone else.
See,
That's
I've literally never
fantastic.
thought of it, like, to the level of, yeah, Blofeld joined the space race alone so that he could mess up the space race. That's very funny.
Yeah, he's not even
Literally, I've
doing
never thought
anything
of
with the
that.
stolen spacecraft that he keeps bringing home. He's not doing anything with any of it.
No,
He's
he
just
literally
grabbing them, bringing them back
he takes
down,
them, and I
that's
think he
it.
dismantles the craft and then just has
Yeah,
what is it? He has, like, a lot of people who have just been captured.
yeah.
Like, it's a solid,
He's got, like, 2 Americans and 2 Russians, I think,
no,
at the
it's
time
more
that
than
Bond
2, I
intervenes.
think. I
Is
think
it
it
more
was,
than
like,
that?
closer to, like I guess it would just be the 2. In my mind, he
It
has
seems
more
like
Russians
he
than
should
that.
have more than that, right?
But
Because it's
regardless,
implied
there's
that
a
he's been
great
doing this
scene
for
where
a
the
long time.
Russian cosmonauts and the US astronauts work together to take
Yeah.
down Blofeld.
I love the scene where we're introduced to them together because they're all the 4 of them just sitting in a cell, and they're
Mhm.
and the American guys are just like, "So, what made you guys want to be astronauts?" And one of the Russians goes, "Well, in our country, we say cosmonaut." And the conversation does not go any further than
Yeah,
that.
that's the whole thing. That's the only thing that you end up hearing. It's like
And boy,
I
that's the
love
writing quality of the whole
the
movie.
implication that this is the first time they've spoken to each
They've
other
just
in
been
the time
sitting
they've
there
been together.
silently the whole time.
3 weeks into it, first word. So what made you decide to be an astronaut?
Cosmonaut.
Actually. I I hate to say that Goldfinger is in the number 5 position for me above Doctor No. The more I think about
It
it,
feels wrong.
it's hard to put anything other than Doctor No in final place, but Doctor No does a lot of cool things.
He does. What is Doctor No's larger plot?
I don't know that he has
Does he
one.
have one? Did James just go and, like, fuck him up for no reason? He must have been doing something that the
He was
CIA wanted him gone.
he was sent after him for some reason.
Yeah.
Also, can we appreciate that Felix went from Doctor No Felix to, like, fat balding Felix in Goldfinger back to the other Felix in Thunderball?
He did that, yeah.
It has lent a lot of credibility to the theory that Felix Leiter is a code name, much like a lot of people say James Bond is a code name.
Oh, yeah.
Um, except then he also is in Felix's wedding in License to Kill.
Oh, shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that's the same Felix he's been bonding with all these years. Who is
Very odd.
he might be the same Felix as Live and Let Die? Question mark?
Is he? And that's the guy
don't
who
know.
plays Jack's dad in Lost, right?
Could be.
I know that's who it is in either The Living Daylights or License to Kill. I don't
Well,
remember
it's the same in
which.
both of them.
It's the
So
same guy in both. Okay.
yeah, they have. That's the funny thing. They did get some consistency. Like
A
we
little
have the
bit.
same guy playing Q through all of the movies up until
Right up until he died, right?
up until he died. Like his last scene. Oh no, I'm thinking of yeah. His last scene is him like saying goodbye to Bond and then dipping down in this like little lift, and then he died before the film was released.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
they
we
had,
got
they had the same M for a really, really long time until Judi Dench took over during the
and they
Brosnan era,
and they
right?
make a whole scene of it. He's like, "Well, congratulations, Bond, you got me fired," or something
Oh,
like that.
really?
Like, yeah, it was like a political thing, kind of like how Judi Dench had to exit the scene.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a similar thing, if memory serves, where he's just like, "I'm." It's either he's retiring or he had to like politically step down.
that's interesting. I mean, at least with Judi Dench, they just killed her.
She also was going to have to step down because of Bond, though.
Oh, that's right, because she was showing so much favoritism to him.
Mm-hmm. They're like, "You, this man is a sociopath.
As though the
You
other
cannot-
guy,
you can't do this."
as though the other guy wasn't showing favoritism. For as much as he talked as though he hated him, they did give him kind of all the big stuff.
They did. Mom, are you sure you want him to head back out? Judy Dench looking at Bond's 0 out of 10 scores across the board. He's perfect. Send him out there.
He's fine. He'll be
He just
okay.
it's all in his
If
head
he
that he's
wasn't good
bad.
enough, he'd be dead.
He wasn't man, the fact that that dude is literally sitting there and having, like, the worst like, he was abusing drugs, he was heavily alcoholic, he was out of shape.
He
Like, he
failed
was
every single test that they had.
yeah. Like, he was what was he? He was, like, drinking tequila with a live scorpion on his hand, like, maybe I die, maybe I don't." Shot of tequila, trap it under the cup, and he's like, "Look how cool I am," and everyone's like, "Look at that guy."
That's right. I forgot about that.
But let's do a definitive ranking of all the movies we remember. So
Okay.
let's cut Brosnan out of the picture. All right,
Okay, so we're just talking Connery through
Connery
Dalton.
through Dalton, and I don't
Oh
want to
god.
touch Craig because I think, much like he was saying, you can't like make a funny Bond
It's a
anymore.
it's a different era.
Hmm.
Honestly, including Timothy Dalton on this is probably like I think the Connery through the end of the Roger Moore era is all one thing, and then after that it kind of became something else.
I'm down with that.
I mean, with that said, like maybe I'm just saying that because it's been long enough since I watched either of the Timothy Dalton ones that I don't remember.
I mean, there's a reason that we call Dalton the angriest Bond. No, Living Daylights has like this outrageous plot with some like Russian defector trying to bypass his KGB overlord who is like chill with the English. Yeah, never mind. No, that one 100% belongs in here. So Dalton's back in.
I just remember him like like snowboarding down a mountain riding a Stradivarius cello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it gets shot at one point, and then
Yeah.
he finds out that it's a Stradivarius, and he's like, "Oh no!"
No, he learned it was a Stradivarius before he used it as his like rudder on his sled down the hill.
Oh, did he knew that before? Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Anyway,
God,
that alone, another snow hill ski scene, that's enough to get it back on there.
just like For Your Eyes Only.
Honestly, exactly like. Okay, so
Fantastic chase sequences in that one.
of all the movies between License to Kill and Doctor No, we're gonna put Her Majesty's on the bottom, right?
Yeah,
Or does it still sit above Octopussy?
it might still sit above. No, I think it's below Octopussy, but it's probably above You Only Live Twice. It might be above Doctor No for me.
Okay. You know what? Real quick. All right, so we have a letterbox list, and we're gonna rank it definitively.
Definitively. This is
Definitive.
the only ranking list that matters
All right, so let's go to the bottom. We'll build from the bottom,
from
and
the
then we'll
bottom.
adjust from there.
Okay.
So you said you'd like Doctor No on the bottom.
It might be. Like it's got our cartoonish villain
It does.
and all that, but like it's just not good.
Right now, I think we basically have a three-way tie of Majesty's Secret Service, Octopussy, and Doctor No.
What is the
And
plot? Can we get a plot synopsis on Octopussy? I actually don't remember what's going on in that one.
there's not a lot. So, sent to solve the murder of Agent 009, killed in East Germany, clutching a fake Fabergé egg.
Should have smashed it in the alley.
Trail leads to India, where an enigmatic woman operates a smuggling ring under the cover of a traveling circus. Her real motives prove to be far more sinister, and Bond uncovers a plot to blow up a U.S. Air Force base in West Germany.
I don't remember any of this.
I gotta be honest, when I tell you that, I watched this movie like within the last year. That was not anything I remember. I remember some weird villain.
I don't remember any of that at all. I think when I've been thinking of Octopussy, I've been thinking of the villain from The Spy Who Loved Me because he's got that underwater thing.
It is easy to confuse the two.
Because I was
I
thinking
just
octopus,
realized
water, and
I've been confusing Octopussy and Moonraker
oh my god,
because Moonraker's bad, dude. Okay,
Moonraker's
so I
another
have
one that the
not
plot is
watched.
just very fuzzy to me.
Okay, so
Like, what's
Octopussy
going
in
on with
hindsight,
this?
maybe not as bad as I remember. This
We
actually
are
sounds like it
living
might
up.
slap.
We are really living up to the off-the-air tradition of just talking a lot with great opinions about things that we do not know about. And we
Yeah.
should know about these because they
Speaking
are
with
movies that
authority.
we have watched.
Okay, so I think that at least bumps Octopussy to the -3.
I guess it might.
I'm gonna say Her Majesty's Secret Service is more boring than Doctor No.
You know what? Yeah, it is longer, and that is to its detriment.
Very much so.
And the villain is Blofeld, but he's not really Blofeld.
Yeah. Which one? Let's see. Where's that is not Roger Moore's face on that Live and Let Die poster.
Who the hell is that? Guy Fieri?
don't know.
Or that
Doctor
guy
No.
from the Backstreet Boys? He's got like frosted tips and shit. Like what?
Doctor No is only an hour and 50 minutes, and that counts for a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's
So we have our bottom three. Octopussy, maybe you're better than I remember, but you got to live down there because we don't
yeah,
know.
it's I don't think. Let's throw Moonraker down there as well.
Oh, you know what? Moonraker actually belongs
Because
below Doctor No.
yeah, Moonraker suck.
It's really bad. You
It's
wouldn't think. Let me rephrase that. You would think that James Bond going to space would be bad, and you'd be right.
yeah. Now that's the second one that has Jaws in it as a
It
villain,
is.
right?
Yeah, it's
What's
his
the
second
first that
movie.
he's in?
The first one he is in
Is it The Spy Who Loved
it
Me?
is The
Or
Spy Who Loved Me.
okay, okay. Because I always remember that Moonraker isn't the first one that he appears in, but I cannot think off the top of my head of where he was. I
Yeah,
know it was another Roger Moore,
he's
obviously,
somewhere
but
in there.
yeah, whack.
All right.
All right, so working up from the bottom still here.
I
View
think
to a Kill, probably.
View to a Kill definitely also belongs below Octopussy
Do you
because
think?
yeah, it's
That's the one where
this is where we can start to flip because
Christopher Walken is the villain, and he plays a KGB agent who just becomes successful in other avenues and decides to stop being a KGB agent.
I think that's it. Yeah.
And he's succeeding in other avenues of life by cheating horse races by using delayed release steroids, which is not how steroids work, I don't think.
No. Yeah.
Like the idea is that it's like a delayed release thing that you like implant in the horse's flesh somewhere and it doesn't release until during the race, so your horse won't piss hot beforehand.
Yeah.
But I don't think releasing steroids into your body during a race is going to make you win the race, right?
No. No. Not at
That
all.
doesn't make any sense.
No.
Sam, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty certain that's not how that works.
All right. So let's put it above Octopussy because I
Yeah.
have not watched it recently enough to remember with any definitive answer.
Christopher Walken isn't as fun as you would expect Christopher Walken as a villain in a James Bond movie
Much
to
less
be.
fun than you would think he is.
But
yes.
he is still, you are still looking at Christopher Walken's face that whole time being like, wow, that really is Christopher Walken in this movie here.
Oh, I turned on the ranking system. There we go. Now we have numbers.
Okay. This is
Okay.
easier to read now.
Much easier to read. Now we see a big old number.
The listeners are really
next to
gonna know the
Majesty's Secret
difference.
Service.
Where it belongs.
If anyone wants to see this, I'll link it in the.
Maybe we should put another movie on this list just to put it further down. Just to put on Her Majesty's Secret Service in like
Austin
the 17
Powers.
spot. Yeah, throw Austin Powers down to the number 16 spot.
All right, so we got View to a Kill in here, and our bottom five. I think that's a pretty solid bottom.
Oh
five.
shit, we've been completely forgetting about You Only Live Twice this whole time.
We have.
We
but
gotta throw it down there.
I still think You Only Live Twice was better than most of these. It is more watchable, I think, than late era Roger Moore.
I will accept that.
Which is embarrassing for them.
Roger Moore didn't start out great, and he didn't build momentum. And
it's a shame. Like Roger Moore, I
he's
never
got
realized
the most movies, doesn't he?
Yeah,
yeah.
But like when we look at it, it's 1, 2, 3, 3 of his 7 movies I like.
Yeah.
6 movies. I'm sorry.
The Man with the Golden Gun is unironically probably one of the best ones. It's definitely
Honestly,
one of my favorites.
Let's while we're talking, let's
go from the top for a minute.
Slot some quick stuff into the top. We're gonna put Thunderball. We're gonna put Golden Gun. And we're going to put...
Diamonds Are Forever.
Diamonds Are Forever. And I would also say let's put License to Kill up there.
It's fun. It's a fun one. It's Timothy Dalton, so it's out of the fun era, but it is fun. And that's the one where the villain's plot is dissolve cocaine in gasoline to get it into America and then use some kind of straining technique to get it out.
Yeah.
And that is just hilarious.
It's very good. And he also has his guy who, like, on the side is running, like, a spiritualism cult.
Oh,
and
God,
that's how they
right.
sell the cocaine.
They have that weird televangelist guy. Yeah.
And they get passive income from him, and that's also how people buy cocaine.
And that's how they launder their money.
Yeah. So actually, let's
sort of
safely
one-stop
put
shop.
that in the
they
number
sell
3
the cocaine
spot.
and launder the money on the spot because it's donation based. And he's always saying "bless your heart" in that weird tone.
Bless your heart.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shuffle a couple of things. I think Spy Who Loved Me is right above You Only Live Twice.
You think?
No, it's above.
It's above From Russia with Love.
Yes.
I would say. I think it's better than Live and Let Die. It's less fun than Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die
because Live and Let Die is absolutely horrible, but it is funny if you watch it and you're just like, wow, they were serious about this.
I think honestly, because of how much more fun Live and Let Die is, it does beat Spy Who Loved Me. I don't think Jaws carries the movie enough.
No?
I
I
think
I remember liking the girl who plays the Russian agent that Bond ends up with.
mhm,
I remember liking her, and it's been long enough since I watched the movie. I don't know why. It could be that when I watched it originally, I just thought she was hot, and that has
it's fair.
been like affecting my judgment this whole time.
That's
But
super
you
fair.
know what? I'm gonna stand by it.
Okay. So, I'll concede Live and Let Die to the ninth place
For
for now.
objective harmfulness reasons, if nothing else, maybe.
Yeah, we'll give it that. For Your Eyes Only will always be one of my favorite Bond
It's
movies,
so good.
and it's because of the pistachio
It's the
smuggler.
pistachio guy.
He's just like, "Oh, I smuggle anything, but not drugs and people. I have standards."
Yeah.
And it turns out that he primarily smuggles, like,
And in
pistachios.
almost every scene that he is in, he's eating a handful of pistachios.
Also, he introduced me to Uzo, which
And
is
oh, and he's the reason we know what Uzo is, yeah,
yeah,
which is delicious.
it is.
Love it.
Sambuca, by the way, it's the same thing, it's a little thicker.
It's what? It's, like, similar? Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it,
it's
like,
the Italian
stronger or
version,
Oh, is
and it's
that
meant to
I
so
never knew
Uzo
Sambuca was Italian.
yeah, Uzo you drink before a meal, to get
It's an
ready.
aperitif.
It's an aperitif, and you eat it you usually will drink that while you eat, like, a selection of, like, small appetizers, like a
Oh,
specific
that
type of
that
appetizer.
makes sense. It seems like
Sambuca
that kinda
is
drink.
a meal closer. It's a digestive.
It's a digestive.
Mhm. But For Your
Oh.
Eyes Only, oh my gosh, and then we got that the worst Bond girl ever
The
because she's,
figure skater who
yeah, the
can't
figure skater
act.
who can't act,
Yeah, and the
and she was
cuts
like an
when they
Olympian.
Yeah, she was like an
That's why
Olympic
she was
figure
in the
skater.
movie, because
Yeah,
they needed a figure skater, and she was an actual Olympian.
yeah,
Let's
but she was a
mm,
terrible actress,
terrible actress.
and there are so many points where it cuts they have, like, a quick cut between her and a stunt double
Oh,
because
yeah,
they had
because
her
she
doing
couldn't take
something
a
she
hit.
wasn't gonna do. Yeah,
And it
and
wasn't
it
even
looks
like
so
it's
bad.
not even
It
like
looks
her
so
taking a hit
bad.
where it's like, "Oh, you just gotta man up and take a hit." No,
No, it's like
it's as
she
if
didn't know how to act as though she was taking a hit because they
yeah.
didn't hit her for real.
No, they were like a foot and a half away.
Yeah, and you can tell. And
Yeah.
then you see the cut where it cuts to the stunt double who then, like, falls over a bed and grabs a pillow to cover her face as
Yeah.
she falls
As her
down.
wig falls off.
It's
Oh, it's a
she
mess.
her wig is coming off as she does that too. It's so funny.
I think we
And
need to sort
it's
out
also got,
oh, no.
in addition to that, we don't have a cartoonish villain, but we do have an absolutely fantastic snow chase scene
We do.
with Bond
We
skiing
do.
away from these motorcycle guys with nails in their tires, and it's a
With
great chase scene.
oh, and it's funny
We've
music
got that
too.
it's really goofy, very 80s
It's very
music, yeah.
goofy.
And then,
And then we have that lady who spins around and
yes,
throws a tray cake in a man's
the whole
face.
thing.
It's like, okay,
She's
if
supposed
you
to be
guys haven't
turning
seen the
around in
movie,
shock from something, but she very blatantly turns around, looks at this guy, slams the cake into his face, and then starts reacting to
yeah,
things.
it's very clear that like they only had a couple of takes they could do this in, and she needed to make sure that she landed her part of it. And unfortunately, she's in the foreground, so you very clearly
Oh,
see her
fortunately, she is in the
spin around
foreground.
and
Look directly at
just
this guy,
slam him
slam
in
it
the
into his
face.
face. Oh, it's the best. It is fantastic. It is the crown jewel of a really good chase scene.
Let's nail down our top 5.
I like how this list is half us condemning movies for being bad and half praising them for being bad.
It honestly
It's
it
really
just
just
depends on how
was
fun
it
the
bad in a
movie
fun way
is.
or was it bad in a
Like Live and
stupid
Let
way? That
Die
is it.
was
That is the whole
very
thing.
fun, but the fact that literally every black person in the entire movie is in on this really weird, like everyone has a radio and they
Yeah.
all work for the same bad guy who's also black
And it's
and
all voodoo
pretending to be a
based.
different black guy while
Yeah,
he's at it.
he is two different black villains in the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one who looks like he has a face made out of plastic,
because he does.
and then another who's just a guy who's also
Yeah.
cartoonishly evil.
And it's like all voodoo based and in New Orleans and
Yeah.
oh god.
It's a very enjoyable watch if you can get past that. But
Yeah.
for that
It's a lot to get
for that
past.
reason, I'm out.
I am also
So
owed.
we have our bottom we have 8 through 16 done
Wow.
and locked in.
Now, where does Goldfinger sit in that? Because
That
it's not as good as The Living Daylights.
that's true.
I don't think it's as fun as The Spy Who Loved Me. I don't think it's as fun as Live and Let Die.
You know what? I think you're right.
I think that number 9 spot looks good, right above From Russia with Love.
I think I have a lot of love for From Russia with Love,
You do? Okay.
but like
Is it better than Goldfinger though?
I don't think
Because
so.
Goldfinger has some drag to it, but I think From Russia with Love has more drag to it.
It has more drag, and it also has that really weird scene of the Romani camp where two women are gonna fight to the death over who gets to bone Bond that night.
Oh, it's not over Bond, it's over some other guy.
Oh, never mind. And then he just ends up boning them
He
anyway.
just happens to be there. No, no, the place gets attacked in the middle of the fight, and
I definitely remembered him boning one of
it
them.
turns into a gunfight. He
It must be
I wouldn't
somebody
doubt that he
else.
bones somebody from there,
No,
but
yeah, it's like,
it's not at that
Bond,
point.
you can't interfere. This is a cultural thing, and you'd
Yeah,
never
that's
understand. They're gonna
exactly
kill
it.
each other over a man now. And he's like, oh, I understand that perfectly.
Yeah.
No, but then
Oh.
they do both come to him at the end of the night, and they're like, they're very grateful that you saved the camp. Wink,
Oh.
wink, wink, wink.
Is that? I don't remember.
I think so.
I don't remember.
That was mostly in Istanbul, if memory serves. And that had a lot of cool, like, underground
That's
scenes.
right. You know what? There is an awful lot in From Russia with Love that I don't remember.
You know
So
what?
if we wanna bump that up to the number 9 and bump Goldfinger down to 10, I will accept that.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Okay.
Live and Let Die, Sitting Happy in
Yeah,
number 8,
maybe
Spy Who Loved Me in number 7.
is License to Kill better than The Living Daylights?
Okay, so here's the thing about the Daltons, right?
Because these two are right next to each other in the 5 and 6 spots on the list right now, and I'm not saying that they don't belong next to each other,
They
but
definitely
I
do.
don't know. I guess I don't remember the plot of The Living Daylights well
So
enough
Living
to
Daylights is
determine if
where
it's
he
better than
goes to the
License to
Middle
Kill.
East at
Oof.
one point.
Yikes.
That's the okay, Living
I
Daylights is the
remember he ends up
one.
in the Alps as well, right?
No,
No?
no.
Then why does he end up on a snow-covered mountain with that cello?
He's in that might be I don't remember where. No, they're because they're escaping Russia.
Russia.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it might have been the Alps, but it's a very brief scene. So they have a KGB operative who they kidnap because he's defecting.
Right.
But that KGB operative actually just gave a list of names that he wanted eliminated so he could advance. And then he's making a deal with this American warmonger who lives in the Middle East, I think.
That's odd. Okay.
Who just like has this obsession with different war leaders of history. So he has like a statue of Caesar, a statue of Hitler,
What the
and a few
hell?
other people. He's like, these are great generals. He sounds a lot like
How
Sergeant Pepper.
from
I'm sorry,
Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts
Sheriff
Club Band?
Pepper.
Oh,
Sheriff
Sheriff
J.W.
J.W.
Pepper.
Pepper.
Exactly. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, what a miserable man.
Uh, boy, the inclusion of him was really just horrible, wasn't it?
It
Which
really
two
was.
movies is he in?
He's not in
Two
For
Roger
Your
Moore
Eyes
movies.
Only,
It's not For Your Eyes Only, but it is.
but
He's in Live
he's
and
in
Let
you
Die, isn't he?
he's in You Only Live Twice.
Is he in You Only Live? No, he's not in
I'm
You Only
thinking of the
Live
wrong thing.
Twice. No, no.
He's in Live and Let Die. That's his
Is it Live
first
and Let
movie.
Die? Okay, and then
And then he's in Man with the Golden Gun.
is it The Man with the Golden Gun? Fuck.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Why is he in it?
Oh no.
Shit. Well, that
I
sucks.
think that's the one he's in.
Is that the one? Or is it?
It's not Moonraker.
That's one of the ones where they're in, one of those totally non-specific miscellaneous Southern Asian country scenes. Or maybe it's specifically like Thailand or something.
I think it's Thailand. Half a sec. Let's check the wiki real
Yeah,
quick.
is it? Where does this shit happen? Why would they include Sheriff J.W. Pepper as a character in the movies? Because
I
he
don't
never
know.
affects anything particularly.
He's literally
He
just
never
there to be
matters.
a
He's just there to be
comically
annoying.
inept Southern sheriff.
Yeah. Why?
It is not this one. It is definitely. It has to be Man with a Golden Gun.
It has to be. Fuck.
It
Shit.
has to be.
God damn it.
Let's see. Yep. Okay. Meet High Fat.
High fat. I remember the name.
Yep. Sheriff J.W. Pepper.
J.W. Pepper. He's supposed to be from Louisiana?
Yeah.
With that fucking accent? God damn it.
Yeah.
He doesn't sound like he's from Louisiana, does
He
he?
doesn't sound like he's from anywhere.
No. He sounds like a cartoon Southern person.
He does.
Which is to say, what, kind of a mix of like a Georgia and Alabama accent or some shit? Like,
Kinda.
but it's also kind of neither of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like his real accent.
Honestly, I like License to Kill and Living Daylights in the 5 and 6.
Yeah,
Because
License to Kill is definitely
better.
better because it stuck in my mind more.
And yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a better plot. Honestly, no, it doesn't beat out any of our top 4. We got to narrow down our top 4 then.
Yeah, so we got Thunderball, Diamonds Are Forever, For Your Eyes Only, and The Man with the Golden Gun.
Now, I think let's level right now. Your Eyes Only and Diamonds Are Forever are not our top spot, right?
Or
Or do you think one of them could take the number one spot? Because in my
Okay,
opinion,
so the villain in For Your Eyes Only
mhm,
is what? He's trying to acquire the ATAC device, which is just for, like,
I think it gives you access to like
transmitting radar signals or some shit?
it lets you. I think it decodes like messages,
Yeah, I know it was a
and it's a
communication
yeah,
thing because he, like,
it's a
destroyed that
communication thing.
submarine to get it.
Yeah, because he wanted it's a British one, and he was going to sell it to the KGB.
Right. In Diamonds Are Forever, Blofeld is just collecting a bunch of diamonds to make a giant space laser to just start destroying shit and hold the world for ransom.
Yeah,
Classic.
that's a
Classic.
classic.
Now, what is the guy in Thunderball actually doing?
He was stealing nukes
He was
because for
what?
a
he's just a man with a yacht inside a yacht and a pool full of sharks stealing nukes.
yeah,
He's just a
so
guy with weird hobbies. Is that so wrong?
so I'm pretty sure what happened is there was a jet flight. It was like a stealth jet,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
was for
Okay.
whatever
That's right.
reason
The plane.
they
Yeah.
were flying with live nukes
For a training
for a
exercise.
training
For some reason.
exercise, and then okay,
Not what they would do. I don't
I
believe.
don't think so.
I don't think there's any reason that they would ever send live nukes out, multiple live nukes,
OTA
for a
fans who
training
are
exercise.
in the Air Force
You
in
can stop us if we're wrong.
in the 60s. Let us know. Did y'all fly with live nukes in training
Yeah,
exercises?
that's right. Because and the way that he brings that plane down is
Yeah,
his
it's
pilot
honestly
gets in.
Blofeld's people love plastic surgery. It's very
Right?
clear that
The
plastic
guy
surgery
gets
like
plastic
was a kind of
surgery
a new theory
to look
or a
right.
newer thing at the time where
Yeah.
people are like, you could change everything about how you look.
You can see that
Because
in a lot of media from the time as well. Yeah,
yeah,
not
there's
just the
so
Bond
much
movies.
stuff.
It's a lot of stuff.
Because
But like
that's a big thing in Diamonds too,
it
is that
is.
Blofeld has made 3 copies of himself.
Yeah. Okay, so but the way that the guy brings the plane down is he's had plastic surgery to make himself look like this Air Force captain or whatever.
Yeah.
He gets onto the plane and he just has this little canister of gas in his pocket that he's able to just plug into something on the dashboard
Yeah,
of the
there's
plane
something on the dashboard
and
that
put it
connects
into
to the air
everybody's
system.
air except his own.
Yeah, because he had an air tank with him.
Right, he brought his own. Yeah. Cuz like it makes sense for there to be a thing on the dashboard that you can just plug a canister of gas into, like a
Yeah.
fucking flash drive,
Yeah.
and just put it into everybody's air supply. That makes sense.
Um,
And it kills everybody, so he lands the plane on the water, lets it sink down into the bottom, and then he's supposed to be extracted at the same time that the rest of the bad guys come to collect the nukes, but instead they kill him because he's too important and
Yeah.
they don't want to pay
he
him.
also because he tried to strong arm them.
Right, he
Yeah,
was
'cause
trying
he's
to get
like,
more money.
"Oh, what are you gonna do? Not pay me more money?"
That's right. Yeah. So they decided to just kill him instead. Meanwhile, the man with the golden gun is more or less just this guy is too effective an assassin
Yeah,
and we need
Bond-
someone to get rid
Yeah,
of him.
he kills one of the 00 agents, so Bond
That's
is sent
right.
after him as a hitman.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oof. Okay. Right. Okay.
Okay.
So with those concepts,
Mhm.
of those concepts, Thunderball
Oh,
and Diamonds Are Forever
Man
are
with the Golden
really
Gun,
up
he did
there.
also put out a challenge specifically at James Bond.
That's right. He like
No,
mailed them
wait,
a
no, that's not
bullet
true.
with his number on it
His girlfriend did that
to try and
get
warn
him
him
involved.
because Scaramanga was about to go kill James Bond. And Scaramanga, the bad guy, is played by Christopher Lee. Fun fact for
No, he
everyone who
didn't.
doesn't
He
know.
didn't care about James Bond.
Oh,
It ended up turning into a big thing where they
Ah.
were like, he had a laser.
that's right. He did have a laser. Why does he have a laser?
He doesn't know how it works.
He
He's
doesn't
very,
care
he-
so much about it.
Yeah, I love. Usually they like monologue about it or something, and he's like, "This is my laser. Don't ask me how it works. That's for science nerds. Anyway, I'm gonna blow up your plane with my laser." And then he does.
Let's do that. Boom. And like, I love him as a villain because,
Oh, yeah.
number one, Christopher Lee.
Mhm.
Number two, the way that his whole thing is, I only need one shot, so my gun only holds one shot. I only go
Yeah.
out with one bullet on the job. His gun is made of fully out of gold for some reason.
Yeah, and it's made. Not only is it made out of gold,
But it's made to collapse down into a couple of smaller parts
yeah,
to
it's
hide
a
in his
pen,
pockets.
a lighter, and something else,
Yeah. Very
and
strange.
a cigarette case.
Yeah, and he just like sticks them together and that makes a gun. And then he takes the one golden bullet that he brought with him and he shoots his target with it.
A man who has, like,
From
carefully machined bullets,
yeah,
but has the jankest gun you've ever seen. For that reason,
and there is
that
no
there's a
way.
and it's the
Just
first
like
time we've
the
opened with a Bond movie where someone is hunting James Bond,
mm,
you know?
well,
That's
second.
nice.
Did you say
Or
first?
I'm sorry, I meant
From Russia
second,
with Love is
because
literally
From Russia
that.
with Love
Yeah, that
opens up
guy.
like that,
Yeah.
but then this is another one where it's the same kinda thing, except this time we get a guy who looks an awful lot like the guy in my memory, the one gangster from Diamonds Are Forever, even though I know it's not him.
Okay.
The pool down there guy.
It
In
I
my
mean,
mind, he's
it
the same
might
guy.
it might be the same guy.
He might be, who knows? It honestly, I think Man with a Golden Gun might be our best story
It
of the
might be.
franchise.
It might be. I can't get over how his whole thing is being the world's best shot with that
Yeah.
pistol.
Yeah.
Because he's always making those shots from these improbable distances for
Oh,
a pistol. And
insane,
also
he
that
need
particular
yeah.
pistol does not even sit comfortably in your hand.
No.
It's got like a square handle.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It looks so awkward to
Miserable.
hold. There's no way it shoots accurately, especially because it's a pistol.
Mhm.
But then there he is, just always getting everybody in one shot.
Not worth it at all. Absolutely miserable. God awful. Alright, so Man with a Golden Gun, top slot.
You know, I think I'm happy with letting that have the top spot. For as much as I like Diamonds Are Forever, Thunderball, and For Your Eyes Only, I think The Man with the Golden Gun might deserve that top spot.
I think of these, For Your Eyes Only might be in number 4,
You think?
maybe number 3.
Okay.
I hate to put
It's
Diamonds
really
above Thunderball, but I think in
I
this
think Diamonds
ranking,
takes the number 2 spot for sure,
and I think it's not because it's better, but because
because it's
it's
worse.
really hard to beat Blofeld made a giant laser and put it in space, and to do it like, because the reason Bond is sent after the diamonds in the first place is because there's a diamond expert in England who's like, tons of diamonds are being stolen, and we're really worried they're gonna flood the market and devalue our diamonds.
Yeah, and this is something I was talking
And that's like
about.
his whole thing.
That's something I was talking about when we were watching it the other day. It's just they're worried about ruining the already absurdly manipulated diamond market.
Yeah.
They're worried that diamonds are gonna come down to their real value.
Yeah.
Like, that's the scare.
Yeah.
Which, actually, by the way, the plot of Live and Let Die is, the villain well, in addition to all the weird, like, voodoo and cocaine shit, like, it's his plan is to produce a ton of heroin and just flood the US market with it by giving it away to create a bunch of new addicts
Yeah. Which is
and then
literally what the
sell to all
CIA
of them.
did, but whatever.
Which is literally what the CIA was doing at that same time even.
Yeah. But now, honestly, that does make me want to bump that movie down a little bit below From Russia with Love, because it's literally just that's CIA propaganda.
Right. It's the bad guys that are doing this, not us. We're trying to stop them,
No, you
guys.
don't
Come
understand.
on.
Black people made black people addicted to drugs, not us.
That's it. That's what Live and Let Die is saying.
Damn. Can't
Oof.
believe it just got slotted down
It's
from
worse
8
than
to
From
9.
Russia with Love. It still does not drag the way that Goldfinger drags.
Which is a shame. Goldfinger has also the plot of Goldfinger being I'm gonna nuke the gold in Fort
So-
Knox so my gold is worth more money.
So many Bond plots have to do with just trying to tank the market on some specific item.
It's very funny.
It's so funny. Yeah, his plan is just I'm going to nuke Fort Knox so that all the gold I've been stockpiling rises in value.
Astronomically rise. And then he wouldn't even use it though. Because the man loves gold too much.
That's the
He
thing.
had
He
a
said
golden revolver.
earlier on in the movie, he says that he collects gold because he loves it, because all his life he's been obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm going to try and just render a bunch of gold useless so that mine is more valuable, and then I'm going to sell it. Like,
Yeah.
what's true? Only one of those things makes sense as a motivation.
It's a mess. I think this is a good list though.
You think? Okay, so from the top,
Oh, do we want to go from the top or from the bottom?
I say let's go from the top.
Okay.
Number 1,
Number 1.
The Man with the Golden Gun.
100%.
It just makes sense. I'm
It's-
sure there's a bunch of shit in the movie that's like way more, racist or insensitive or something that I'm just forgetting about.
Yeah, without a
Because I
doubt.
do remember that Scaramanga has that one minion who is like a little person, and
Yeah.
I don't think the story treats that guy with a whole lot of dignity, and that's not great.
Honestly, they don't treat him with the It's mostly
They don't treat
one-liners
him
from
as
Bond. They don't
bad
treat him as, like, a
as
joke in a punching bag as
Yeah,
much.
they don't treat him as bad as they usually treat, like, islanders
Yes.
in every place that they ever go,
Mhm.
or anybody in any South Asian country that they ever go
Quarrel,
to.
Quarrel Jr. because he couldn't think of another
Quarrel
name
Jr.
for
because they
an
couldn't
islander
think of
with a
another.
boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, I don't know. We're back in the Bahamas, so we'll just have this character be connected to this other character that we had from the previous movie.
Yeah. What a mess. Anyway, number 1 slot, Man with a Golden Gun.
Yeah.
Number 2 slot, Diamonds Are Forever. Dare I say the sleeper hit of the list. I didn't think it would creep up that high, just
I
with how
knew
our
from the
excitement
beginning
level.
that it would take the top spot or one of the top
I feel
spots.
like just based around our excitement level to watch it versus the other 3 movies we
Well,
were
that's
having
the
it run
thing, though.
against, you know?
I wasn't excited to watch it, but then once we were going, I was like, this is the best possible idea. We should not have even considered other movies.
It's just
It's
so
too
good.
fun. It is too fucking fun.
I
Number 3.
A big upset, beating out Thunderball is For Your Eyes
I think
Only.
For Your Eyes Only is the sleeper hit of the list,
On
actually.
I knew it was gonna crack top 5.
Oh, did you?
There was
Okay.
no world that it didn't, just
Okay.
because of the Pistachio Smuggler and the introduction to Uzo into my life. Sambuca, by
Extra
the way,
points for
is
Uzo.
thicker than Uzo.
That's very odd.
Yeah, which works with, and I have some Sambuca Black, so it is a black liquor
Oh,
that
nice.
tastes like Uzo.
Oh, so it's like what we expected
what we
Uzo to
expected
be when
Uzo
we
to
were
be.
kids. Yeah, we
Exactly.
thought that it was going to be this like thick syrupy shit that you had to eat with a spoon.
Yeah, and then we're like, that's clear liquor.
And we thought that for absolutely no reason at all.
For far too long. Honestly, it was because it was called Uzo.
It's just because it's called Uzo.
Number
We
4.
were also told that it tasted disgusting because we heard this from people who don't like anise.
Yeah. I am a black licorice enjoyer.
I'm a big fan.
So
It's what got me
Uzo,
into drinking
Sambuca,
absinthe for
absinthe.
whatever amount of time I started
Great.
doing that. I should get another bottle of absinthe sometime.
It's a good time.
Maybe next time I'm ever drinking again. Literally,
Right.
the only time I drink is when you have me try a wine lately,
Nice.
which you haven't steered me wrong yet. So that's
Happy
pretty
to
good.
help.
But I keep thinking like I should just. It's weird to say I should drink more, but like I feel like I would have a lot of fun if I just introduced that back into my life more, even if it's just a
in
beer
a
here and
casual
there or
thing
some
where it's like,
shit.
I will have a beer every now and then. Or
Yeah,
get the
'cause I
absinthe
love that.
contraption that you can like make a ritual out of. A nice little
The
cup of
spoon.
absinthe.
Yeah.
Oh no, not just the spoon. I'm talking about like the water dripper. Get the whole thing.
Oh, I've never even seen that.
Oh, it's
Jeez,
great. I'll
I've
show
never
you
seen it
later.
done with more than just the spoon.
But anyway, Thunderball on spot number 4. It's
Makes
hard to
sense.
beat the yacht in a yacht. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I guess
It's hard to beat the
it's
double
a
yacht.
speedboat in a yacht.
Well,
and the
it's
back of the yacht
it's really more
is
a yacht
just-
than a speedboat, though.
It is. But the back of the yacht boat, speed yacht? Speed yacht.
It's all full of guns.
It's just guns.
It's just guns.
There is nothing to make you believe
They literally
that the
just
back
wheel
of that
them
would
out
be
on
guns.
dollies.
But there is an anti-aircraft gun on the back of that car
Yeah.
thing. And it's so good.
And also the shark pool.
In spot number 5,
You
we have
can't beat the
License
shark
to
pool.
Kill.
License to Kill.
It's just,
that.
it's very funny.
I think that's a surprise. I didn't think it would crack the top 5.
I didn't think so either.
I didn't.
But you
think
know
it
what?
would, but
License to Kill, it feels right.
It kind of does.
And
it's just
if
fun. It's
from
good.
the dissolving cocaine in gasoline so that it's invisible and doesn't settle, to the extracting it from the gasoline and giving you a free tank of gas along with it. Oh ho 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 ho.
Does that?
To the fact that the
does that
villain,
work?
as everything is falling apart, has no patience for any of his people who are like, dude, this is all falling apart. What are we doing?
And he just like shoots him, doesn't
yeah, he shoots so many people.
His answer
He's-
to every problem is just to shoot whoever's causing the problem.
yeah,
And it works out so well for him. Do you think the gasoline cocaine thing would work?
I think that is actually a smuggling method,
Really?
or it's part of like.
Can you
it's
actually
part of
get
some
it
sort of
out
method.
though?
I don't know.
Can you get all the gasoline out of the cocaine? I feel like I
can't
would never
imagine
trust
you
that.
could.
That's why I could never do cocaine. I would never trust that it doesn't have gas in
Like,
it.
is this pure
Is
cocaine
this
or is this
good, or,
gasoline?
like-
Oh, it's gas, bro. Don't worry. No, I mean, like, is
Like,
there
no,
gasoline
I'm
in this
serious. Like,
cocaine?
are there petroleum products in this cocaine? Because if there is, I'm not doing it with you. Because, I would ever consider it otherwise.
Exactly. Next up, The Living Daylights in number 6. It's fine.
It's fine.
Unfortunately, at number 6 is where we start, like, the top
It's where the
5 were
list
like,
falls
these
apart,
are great.
really.
The top 4 were like, these
The
are
top
great.
4 are ones
and then
that we're
from
ranking
5
by...
to 16.
The top 4 are the movies that we're ranking by level of goodness, and the whole bottom 10 is where we're ranking by badness.
And then
Like, we just compare different things in different parts of the list, I think.
yeah, but like execution means a lot, and
It
the fact that
it
like
does.
these are decent stories and decent execution beats out the great concept and terrible execution of like
You Only Live Twice or
You Only Live Twice.
Goldfinger or
There, yeah. You know?
yeah.
On that note, number 7, Spy Who Loved Me.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's got Jaws. That's cool. It's got the
It's
guy
got
who wants to
Jaws.
make an underwater utopia, but he's
Interesting.
like
It's the guy from BioShock, sort
yeah,
of.
it's the same situation. There's a lot going on in it, and it's not
Like, I
that
don't
great.
think he had a full, like, rapture plan for it, but,
He
like...
did I wasn't his plan to nuke the world?
Oh, was that his plan? Nuke the world so everyone has to retreat underwater with him?
Was that I don't remember.
That's a weird move. That's a weird idea.
It's
How's he
a
gonna steal those nukes? Every nuke stealing plan has already been done.
It
Half of them
has.
got destroyed by Blofeld with his giant space laser.
Half honestly. That's something that we don't talk about is the fallout of him destroying even one missile silo in wherever he
Shouldn't
destroyed the
that
missile
have been a
silo.
bigger deal than it was?
Yeah, he destroyed a bunch of
Like,
missiles around the world.
yeah. It's never
And
explicitly
when I say
stated that
around the
they...
world, I'm talking around the world.
It's never explicitly stated that they were nukes,
No, but there were still missiles.
but, like, come on now.
It's still a problem. Next up, in spot number 8, From Russia with Love.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fun to watch Bond trying to
okay.
outwit the assassin who's literally
Yeah.
just there to look sexy and kill James Bond.
That is
They
kinda
literally
his
have him
thing, isn't
stalking
it?
a man in a rubber mask who is dressed like James Bond
Why
so
has
he
the
can
guy got the-
practice specifically killing James
Why
Bond.
does the guy have the rubber mask on? That's not necessary.
It's not. It's really not.
Also, they have him actually kill a guy in a training exercise?
Well, that's what the KGB is like, man. In Russia, the training exercises are lethal. That's why Russia, you know.
Of course, right.
Exactly.
Yeah. You can really spot the 1960s.
You can. Speaking
Number
of spot in the
9.
1960s, Live and Let Die.
1973.
Man, you can spot the 1940s in this one. It's not good.
Honestly,
It's
you
very
could probably
fun.
put in a couple of clips from Reefer Madness and not even notice.
Probably. I don't know, man. It's a fun thing, right?
It can... I feel like maybe we remember it being more fun than it is.
No, because Nina and I watched it,
I'm
and it's one of
worried,
her
I
favorite
guess,
Roger Moore
that-
movies.
Okay.
But here's
okay.
the thing. If we're ranking Roger Moore movies, it's in the number 2 spot. No, it's in the number 3 spot after Golden Gun,
Well, this isn't a
For Your
Roger
Eyes
Moore
Only,
list.
Roger, and then Live and Let Die. That's the top 3 of his 6 shitty movies.
Wait, so how many of the top 5 are Roger Moore movies?
2.
2. 2 Roger Moores, 2 Connerys, and then 1 Dalton. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the top 5. Huh. The number 10 spot, Goldfinger.
Number 10 is Goldfinger. Goldfinger,
This-
it deserves to be higher, but it just drags a little
I
bit.
don't know if it does deserve to be higher. It really just mostly drags.
It drags.
Here and there, you've got some, Bond escaping a prison cell, sneaking around the bad guy's lair shenanigans, and that's all neat, but like,
Yeah, always fun. Always fun.
yeah.
But it, doesn't always deliver.
Plus, there's a character whose name is Pussy Galore, and we cannot forgive that.
We cannot forgive Pussy Galore.
Ian Fleming, come up with normal names for your female characters, like fucking once.
Was that Ian's fault, or was that
Yes,
someone
it's
else's
100% Ian's fault.
fault? Okay.
That's how he names his characters.
Okay, good to know. I just wanted to make sure before I fully blamed Ian for something
Well,
maybe he didn't
fully
do.
blame Ian. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he also wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and that's the one where there is a woman
Okay.
named Truly Scrumptious.
Yep, never mind.
Because,
My name's Plenty. Yes. Plenty O'Toole. Named after your father. Man, what a line. What a line. Then we have A View to a Kill. A lot less fun than it should have been.
It should have been.
It
fun,
should have been so
but
much
it's
more
just
fun.
not.
Yeah.
Isn't there a blimp at one point involved?
Yeah.
Don't they like fight on a blimp or something?
Yeah.
A movie that involves a fight on a blimp should be fun, and it's not.
It was the follow-up to Moonraker, where because there was Moonraker, and then there was what?
That's when Never Say Never Again happened, wasn't it?
I already closed out the list.
You already closed out that list.
Where'd it go? Moonraker and then
then
was
For Your Eyes Only. Ooh, what a bounce back.
Yeah.
Because Moonraker sucks, and then For Your Eyes Only rocks, and then Octopussy, and then View to a Kill.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I Honestly, looking at the list, Octopussy might belong higher on this list,
Might
and
it?
neither of us will remember because it's been long enough since we watched it.
I
I
guess.
think we could stand to revisit this list at some point
Sure.
after we've watched through all of the Bond movies again.
That
You have a weekend, Jeff. You want to come over and just binge watch 80 hours of James Bond?
I mean, my boss is gonna be out of town for, like, a week and a half at the end of the month, I think. And I'm not gonna be working that whole time because he doesn't like me blasting in the building by myself. So, it's
Okay,
extremely dangerous. So,
that's super
like,
fair.
yeah.
He can do it alone
I
because he
say
signed up for
extremely
that.
dangerous as though I haven't been relatively injury free for the whole last year and a half that I've been doing it. I've only hit myself with the thing like 3 times. It hurts a lot, just in case you were wondering.
I assumed, yeah.
All very minor hits though,
There
so
you go.
I've been fortunate. I actually have seen, when I first got hired, Mick had actually just Mick is the name of my boss. I'm not being racist to an Irish man. Um, he had, like, just hit his hand really badly, so I got to watch the whole process of it healing up, and it looked like his hand was, like, covered in stone at one point. It was really weird.
Nasty.
Yeah, I don't know how he managed to hit himself that bad.
Probably because he did that thing that you said he did the other day where he fired off the sandblaster with no safety gear on.
He did do that the other day, yeah.
Guarantee that's what happened.
He's not very careful. He never wears earplugs either.
Rest in peace, Mick. You're not dead, but you might be.
By now, who even knows? The last time I saw him was 3 hours ago.
To Octopussy in number
Number
13.
13.
Maybe belongs higher. But we
But I
don't
don't
know
know.
yet.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
have enough memories of
I
this movie.
think if we revisit all these movies and we rearrange this list, that does not make us any less correct right now.
You're right. Which is why Dr. No stays in number 14 regardless, because
I don't think it's moving up.
it's
I don't think it's
great
got a chance.
because Dr. No is just MI6 saying, Mr. Bond, you need to go
You
after
gotta
this
check
man
this
who we
out.
know is dangerous. And that's it.
And then he goes there and he gets captured and he's like, well, I guess I got to destroy this whole operation now.
Yeah.
So far as I remember.
It's a very clear cut. There's a guy, go after him. There's not like a greater plot. It's just the fact that he's the guy.
Yeah. Now, there is this one thing that happens in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I personally am a little bit of a sucker for the trope where the villain, like, kidnaps the hero but also makes them comfortable
Yeah.
and, like, lends them some clothes. I think that's kind of a fun trope,
I think
and
so
I like
too.
that Dr. No does that. Also, in the scene where they go to have dinner with him,
Mm-hmm.
do you remember that one shot where he's, like, about to walk up the stairs to the dinner table and he gives, like, a really funny look to that one painting that's stood up, like, right next to the stairs?
Mm-hmm.
I actually learned a little while back that what that is that particular painting had actually been stolen in real life a number of years ago. It's a replica
Okay.
in the movie, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But that specific painting had been stolen in real life and was actually missing at the time that the movie came out. So that was like, for anyone who was up on the events of the art world,
Oh my gosh. So they got to
that's
be
a
like, oh my gosh, he stole
fantastic,
the
yeah,
painting.
yeah, that's a fantastic little Easter egg for people who actually knew what was going on with that stuff at the time.
That's pretty great.
And I of course, I would never get that, but I love the fact that they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 15,
Moonraker.
Moonraker.
You
I had
It's-
completely forgotten about its existence, so I didn't think about where it would land on this list, but I did not think it would take the second to bottom spot.
No, it's so boring.
It's
It is
just
for a movie that's its premise is
yeah. What's the
can
what's
be
the
boiled
plot?
down to James Bond goes to space. It is so fucking boring.
What is the actual plot? Like,
There's
what's the
a-
villain trying to do?
I don't
Who
know.
is the villain even?
He's some guy.
He's just some guy.
I have
he-
no
What
memories
they're
of the
doing
details of this movie.
something
It's
to the
just
moon?
bad.
What are they doing on the moon? They're raking up leaves? Making the whole thing into a giant Zen garden? I don't know.
Honestly, that could literally be right, and I wouldn't remember, except that I know that's not it.
Right. Like, obviously it's
Like-
not right, but I don't know what is.
They go to space. There's like a lot of people in space. The villain's trying to hide, and they have laser guns.
Yeah. Do they actually use the
stuff.
lasers in the movie?
Yeah.
Because I remember being really underwhelmed by the volume of lasers in the movie because after playing GoldenEye 64 on
Where the
Nintendo
Moonraker
64,
laser is a weapon.
the Moonraker laser is a fantastic weapon. It shoots through doors and such,
Yeah.
and doesn't it have like infinite ammo all the time? And it's really powerful.
Yeah.
Although actually, I don't have a ton of great memory about which guns are more powerful than which because we were always playing the one-hit kills mode. So maybe it wasn't as good as I'm remembering it being.
No,
but
it was
like,
pretty good.
It's real good.
Yeah,
But the
Moonraker.
movie just
Moonraker could take the bottom spot.
it maybe could, but it is shorter than On
It
Her
the
Majesty's Secret
literal
Service.
only thing wait, how much shorter? It is 14 minutes
It's
shorter,
only 14 minutes shorter? Oh, geez, that makes it harder. Because at least I
and
remember more
Jaws bites
from.
a
Oh,
oh
yeah, he bites
no,
that
he
giant
bites that
cable.
cable in
Yeah.
half.
Yeah, because there's that, like, cable car that Bond is taking from, like, the fucking Sphinx to the launch site because it all happens in Egypt for some
A lot of
goddamn
it
reason.
and East Germany.
Oh, in East
Or
Germany, of
something.
course,
There's
yeah.
the one guy, he's like an aristocrat and he's a fox hunter and stuff like that. I don't know.
He's an aristocrat and he's a fox hunter. Like, what the fuck is that movie?
Moonraker and Her
I need
Majesty's
to
Secret Service hold the same bottom spot.
honestly, yeah, they should be more just tied for the bottom
Let
spot.
me let me tell you the plot of Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Attempt it.
James Bond is sent to verify whether or not a man applying for a lordship
That's right,
is
he's applying
actually
for a
one
lordship.
of the like descendants of this like
Some particular
family.
count.
And it's like if he
Oh, it's a count. It's
is
a countship because I
okay.
remember a line where he says, "Cutting off your earlobes won't make you a Count Blofeld" or something stupid like that.
Yeah, because that was what happened is Blofeld surgically removed his earlobes because that was a distinctive genetic trait.
Yeah,
And Bond was sent in disguised as some history professor who was there to check his lineage. And the
yeah,
people at the school were hesitant to let him be the one to do that because it was like a mark on their good name or something. But since MI6 was like, it's Blofeld, he's the one trying to do it. You need to go in there.
yeah.
And that's all I don't remember
Okay, so
why, but then they murder Bond's wife.
what's
We
going on
he
at the
That's the B
place?
plot is he gets married.
Well, so what's going on at the place? Blofeld's thing, other than applying for a countship, which makes no goddamn sense. Why would he want to draw attention to himself?
Yeah.
He's
I think he
posing
wanted
as
diplomatic
some kind
immunity.
of a doctor who specializes in helping people to get over phobias or allergies. I don't recall
It
which.
was allergies,
Okay.
I think. I don't
And
know.
using this weird like subliminal shit while they're sleeping to brainwash them into doing something.
I think he was trying to brainwash them into
I
being
think we should actually look
assassins.
this up because I'm not going to remember what they were actually. I don't think it was as clear cut as them as getting them to kill somebody. I think it was more that like they were all everybody in his place, they were all women and they were all like daughters of important people or something, and it was to like try and influence policy making somehow. Let me just
It was probably something like
I
that.
am googling it right now to try and figure it out. A germ warfare plot, huh? Let me pull up the fuller plot synopsis here. Uh, Tries to trick Blofeld into leaving Switzerland. Okay, so he's in Switzerland, which is why they can't do anything to him because they can't arrest him without violating Swiss sovereignty. Uh,
Yeah.
oh, here we go. Here we go. They are being brainwashed to distribute bacteriological warfare agents throughout the world. I don't know how he was accomplishing that. The plot doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, there's a lot
It
going
doesn't feel
on.
like a proper Blofeld plot. Also, can we consider these movies were coming out this frequently, and Blofeld just kept coming up with these plots, and every time it was something that would take so long to set up
Yeah, and then Bond comes in at the
at
0
the
hour
absolute
and
last
finishes it.
moment. Yeah. And then Blofeld is just off
It's
to the
not
next
good.
plot. He's just like, well, all right, my bacterial warfare plan didn't work. I guess I'll just go back to stealing cosmonauts for no reason except to just fuck with the space race.
Yeah.
What's that? That didn't work? Okay. I guess I'll just get a bunch of diamonds and make a giant space laser. Oh, what's
Yeah,
that? That
that's all.
didn't work? All right. Like, it just keeps going until he finally dies so unceremoniously at the beginning of that one movie.
Yeah, where
How
he just dumps
disappointing
him
is
down
that
the thing.
scene? How
It's so
fucking
disappointing.
disappointing. God.
Mr. Bond, we can make a
Ooh, and they don't
deal.
even show his face at
Mr.
any point.
Bond.
Yeah, like,
Looks like he fell down a big tube.
so what?
Or whatever stupid line he
I think that's what he says.
delivers.
Yeah, that's it.
Huh.
Oh no.
Looks like someone needs to spread his wings and fly. Ba-dum, ba, ba-dum, ba, ba-dum, ba-da, ba. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Our top 16 list ranking the
Of
Connery, Dalton, and Moore era James Bond movies.
Yeah, all packaged up in one supersized off the air episode for you.
Super mega jumbo sized off the air. Um,
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everyone.
Thanksgiving. Yeah, not Easter.
No, it's not Easter.